Wanted to walk you through our Halloween 2024 light show. You can go ahead and watch our video from last year from our 2023 Christmas light show. We'll mostly just show you some of those new things that we added for this year, but wanted to walk you through what we got going on. So right here is the brains of the show. Just a ton of cables that are not very neat and pretty here, but we have our Colt 40 here that is running the brains of the show. Also have the sound, the audio, which is coming off of here as well, running it off of a sound blaster, and you got that with the powered USB here, and then that's also how we're getting the data in as well. But again, the Colt 40 is allowing us to push all the data to each of our receivers throughout the yard, and we have 9 of those this year. I think last year we were only at 6. Maybe it was 7, but 6 or 7, but either way, we are up to 9 this year. And so each of those are running out the side here, and we got those color coordinated so I can remember which is going to which spot. One new thing that we added this year, which I'm still in the process of getting everything fixed and up and running, but we will have synchronized bracelets as well as synchronized Santa hats. Just kind of a fun thing for the kids to play around with while they're dancing in the front yard. But either way, this is running off of a DMX signal, so this is the one piece that's a little bit different. So I've got that off of an XLR cable that actually does run directly off the Colt board as well. You can see that up at the top there, the red, white, and the ground wire. Again, that runs down here to our DMX wireless receiver or controller, and that spits out the data to the bracelets. So we got those synchronized running for a handful of things. Since last year, we got our Casa smart plugs, which are on timers to turn on and off just before the show, about 15 minutes before the show, and then also shut off after the show as well, so that things are not running all night. The controller is always up and running, but everything else is running off those smart plugs to turn on and off. And then same as last year, we got our FM transmitter, which spits out the signal for anyone driving by in the cars wanting to listen to things. So let's go ahead and take a look out in the yard at everything. Starting here at the front of the show. Doesn't always look quite as pretty in the middle of the day with all the wires hanging around. Try to hide as much of them as we can, but what we're working with. Got our Tune 2 sign. I know a lot of people do digital ones, but keep it nice and simple, just with a little solar floodlight here, which keeps it lit during the show so people can figure out radio station. If they are not running on the radio station, do you have a push button here? Push the button and can listen to it through the speakers here. I don't know if I showed this last year or not, but I just got them wired up in here. Got the push button going. Then we got a little switch running in here where the audio's running from the garage. And then got a little timer on it. I set my timer for 2 minutes. And then after 2 minutes shuts off, then they gotta push the button again to keep the sound going. And then again, you got the audio cables just dangling here. It's powered through 12 volts. You got that running off of one of our receivers, which you'll see in just a minute. One of our new things this year is our spooky tree from Gilbert Engineering. One of our favorite things, but definitely a pain and a half to get set up here. So let me show you the back of it, what it looks like. So in the wind, I didn't want it flying away or bending, so ended up taking 3 1/4-inch EMT conduit and bending it, and it was a pain and a half. But either we got the bent conduit, so keeping it sturdy here. I also cut my pixel lines so that each branch is on its own string, so for storage you can take it apart pretty easily. But got it all connected here using the maker pipe brackets. Also got the conduit, I don't know, what do they call the T connectors working as well. this piece right here was still not quite as sturdy. In the wind, it was slightly slipping. So drilled a hole, dropped a screw in there, and bolted it on just to make sure that even the strongest of winds, it is not going anywhere. So there again is a look at the back of that. Then you got it anchored in the ground here. So these are actually 24-inch stakes that go into the ground. So like I said, this guy is not going anywhere. So 3 24-inch stakes going into the ground. Those are bolted in, and there we go. We've got our receiver, running it, and good to go. I doubt you can see it, but there's a little actually fishing wires there just to keep that last little piece sturdy in the wind. Wind's always changing directions here, but just so it keeps it a little bit tighter. Anyway, so that's our GE spooky tree. One of the other new things that we're running this year is we got some floodlights. So we actually have 2 things for floodlights. We have these 20-watt RGBW floodlights from Wally's, and then that one's going off to the thing, but either way, to the push button. But either way, this is what is running our floodlights. And we also got these little matrices that we have run. Got our cactus, got our power, got our Ring camera there so we can watch what's going on at night, see people dancing, see people having fun, seeing if there's people out here or not, if we need to update something. Same as before, I got our PVC pipes just magnetized around the windows as well as the garage. After Christmas time we painted them, but again, starting to chip off already, but either way, keep it at the same color as the house so it's not too, stands out too much. But again, here's our matrices. Just got some PVC around the outside of them. Got them zip tied on the PVC, and these are actually just sitting on the ground. And there's one little hook that they are zip tied to just to keep it from blowing over in strong wind. But other than that, I mean, it's just standing there, so nothing too exciting. Got more magnetized. Got the Rosa Grande hanging from 4 different hooks, some chains, as well as some big old fat zip ties. You have our puck lights, which are different from last year. Those are new from last year. I'll show you those in just a little bit closer, but got those for year-round permanent lighting, a different look than we've had previous years with the xlights. But again, so we have the puck lights for kind of that wash look on the house, but then also the xlights for those outward-facing pixels. Both those are running year-round. Do also have that flashing, which again I'll show you a little bit closer up top, just to kind of hide the pixels throughout the day, or I guess when they're on at night. Got the floods, got the P-stakes, still the same. Got our arches, our receivers. If you're not watching the other video, let me just show you a quick peek on the inside. So inside here we have our smart receiver as well as a power distribution board, which is giving power injection. I'm running about 150 5-volt lights before I need to power inject them. And then this little bit right here is color coordinating which of my cords are going to which spots. So those get stored. When I was plugging everything in again this year, it's very easy to just pull that out, color coordinate it, and be good to go. But again, here's where everything is plugged in. Then on the outside here, got our waterproof, whatever these are called, waterproof plugs, ports, caps, I don't remember what they're called, glands, there we go. And underneath here, then to our spider webs. We did the spider webs by just hanging them actually for a fishing wire off the magnets, so you didn't have to screw anything else into the house. Had a couple lines of fishing wire, And then just to keep it from blowing in the wind too much, have some zip ties to the frame here. But again, fishing wire. Pretty sturdy, works pretty well. Haven't had any issues with it yet. And over here, just to have as few holes in the house with screws or anything else, I actually just have some bungee cords, which are holding the matrix here. Again, that guy's not going anywhere, he's nice and sturdy. Same thing, we have our matrix poles, all just being held up with these bungee cords and zip ties. This guy's kind of like a kite though. I need to probably put one here in the middle, but other than that, had a pretty windy day the other day, and aside from just bowing in the wind, it's not going anywhere. A couple more of our floodlights here on the porch. Only difference with our 12-volt boxes versus our 5-volt boxes, no power distribution board, just the smart receiver running off of the power supply. This year I didn't 3D print anything, got rid of my 3D printer, and just got some cutting boards from the dollar store and melted them, fused it together to attach to the power supply. So low budget operation there. So those are all the fun things downstairs. Let's go take a look upstairs at what we got going on. At the back of the boxes here, I figure I'll just walk you through this in case you've never done this. So we have our 4 different ports, got those numbered here. These are the data lines. So each of these is assigned a set of props that are daisy chained together. So for example, I have cord number 3, which runs out here to this one. Runs all the way the data through there, and then prop ends, then connects down to here. So the data is running from this prop down to this prop. Now that's way more than 150 pixels, so I take one of the power distribution cables and then run those in as well. And then those get connected in. Let's see if I got one easily accessible somewhere around. I don't have one you can see here. Let's go find one over here. But those get connected in through a connector T like this, which actually I have no idea why this one's just hanging here without anything. Probably should double check that. But anyway, data is running through it, and then the power is coming in the bottom here, just via the two prongs. Up here on the roof, we have our 2 Hatitude quartets from Gilbert Engineering. Have some 1/2-inch EMT, which we use to build the mount, and it's about 150 pounds worth of sandbags on each of those to keep those from blowing over in the wind. I have another one of our RGBW floodlights from Wally's Lights here, same as the ones that we have down on the ground. Over here are the different cords coming into our Rosa. Not sure if you can see what's going on here, but we have 4 different chains that are hanging on 4 different hooks, as well as 2 jumbo zip ties, which we have holding it up as well. So it's about 45, 50-ish pounds, but held up there pretty well. Not sure how much you guys can see. There's one of our bats. It's actually magnetized to it. I don't want to walk over there and show you that one, but have that going on for both of the bats up on the ceiling. We have the power running through the RGBW flood to get power over to the other ones, which we'll see in a second. Up here we have our xlights still running across the top, same as last year, and we also use those for our permanent year-round lights. They are excellent lights, a little bit pricier than some other ones, but high quality, and I've had 0 issues with them. Underneath here are the different puck light permanent track lights that I put on, also from Wally's. You can check out one of our other videos to see the installation process for those. Definitely took a good amount of time, but the effect that it gives the house is amazing. We have this I don't know what's called drip edge that we put in front of them so that you don't actually see the pixels when they are on at night. You just get that washed effect on the side of the house versus seeing the pixels themselves, and really like that. You can see a little bit closer here, just another one of the spider webs. Got some zip ties, some of the, whatever it's called, the fishing wire, have the magnetized windows, and the magnets make it pretty easy to take it on and off when we are doing the installation itself. They hold up pretty well in terms of weight wise, so that's why we're able to zip tie the spider web on there. But again, you can see it just pops right off here, and when it's time to get it back up, just pop it right back on and you are good to go. And what it says, it's like 25, 30, 40 pounds that you're supposed to be able to hold with magnets, but have a few of those. So here is the same concept with the magnetized PVC and spacers. Have 5 of those hanging this up. Probably a little bit overkill for getting it on here, but wanted to make sure that we had it on there nice and sturdy so that nothing's falling off the house in the middle of the show, because that would always be a tragic thing. And we have the wing nuts, which just bolt on to a screw that goes to the spacer to the magnet. Got a bunch of cords hanging out here. One of these days I'm probably gonna bite the bullet and get some black extension cords so they blend in a little bit better with the house. At the end of all of our runs, we have these plugs from all these lights so that we're not getting any water or any other things going into them and potentially shorting things out, causing any issues. Got a couple of our receiver boxes up here. Again, same windows as downstairs, same concept with everything going on. Have the bat that's magnetized up there with the same magnets that are running the windows, garages, the spider, everything's about the same. So nothing too different in terms of how things are set up here. Still same as
Wanted to quickly show you what these bracelets look like. Again, we got them just this year for the kids to play with while they're outside dancing around. I'm on a Facebook group buy, and not 100% sure what we're going to do with them just yet in terms of if we're going to give them to people or just let kids dance with them while they're out here. But either we'll figure that out as we're going. But yeah, just got it synchronized, so they're going. Got to turn the music off here so it doesn't get flagged by Facebook or YouTube for copyright. But either way, program it, synchronized, go with everything else. It's slightly off the lag from the Wi-Fi right now, but once it's up and running in the actual show, times up pretty nicely with everything else. But nothing too exciting, just runs off of a couple watch batteries. You can flip it on and off. And runs off of that DMX wireless signal. And then again, we have the Santa hats, which same concept, just run off that same thing going on.
Last thing we added to our show this year are these Casa Smart switches. So I have one switch that actually runs the power in the soffits outside, and instead of having the 10 or so plugs that I had last year, I still have 2 of those that are running, but this is what controls majority of the power for the show. So just have this on a timer. I was able just to swap out the switch for it, and again, this is a Casa Smart switch, and works pretty well. So thanks for watching our behind the scenes tutorial on our lights. Hopefully gave you some ideas on what you can do. Feel free to post, like us, subscribe, and hope to see you again soon. Enjoy.